friendly, others not so much. Once you have the hidden treasure aboard your ship, I will see you again.
Controller square button, use wheel. Controller square button, set sail angle. Controller square button, lower anchor. Controller square button, lower anchor. Controller square button, lower anchor. Controller square button, use wheel. 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 Controller square button, set sail length. Controller square button, set sail length. Controller square button, set sail length. Chat, radio. Right stick to select an item. Resources. Tab 1 of 5. No options. Controller R1 button for next tab. Emotes, radio, emotes, radio, emotes, radio. Right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Controller down button for quests. Control chat, radio, emotes, radio. Right stick to select X marks the spot quest option 1 of 8. Barrel, controller square button, open barrel. Barrel. Barrel, 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 barrel. Tab, coconut, quantity 1. Option, barrel, controller square barrel, barrel. Inventory. Controller square, barrel. Banana, no options. Controller L1 button for previous tab, controller circle button for back. Barrel, controller square, coconut, quantity 2, state, controller square button, open barrel. Barrel, barrel, barrel. Tab 2 of 2. Banana, quantity, chat, radio. Right stick to select an item. Controllers, cannonball, quantity, right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Chat, radio. Chat, radio. Right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Emotes, right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Chat, radio. Right stick to select cannonball, quantity 5. Right stick to select an item. Sailor shovel option 5 of 8. Controller square button, pick up grubs. Right stick to sailor shovel option 5 of 8. Controller square button, pick up sailor's chest. Disabled, cannot bury sailor's chest here. Controller square button, climb into rowboat. Controller square button, sit in seat. Controller square button, use oars. 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 Controller square button, sit in seat. Controller square button, sit in seat. Controller square button, sit in seat. Controller triangle button, open rowboat chest. Cannonball, quantity 5. Option 1 of 8, controller down button from next option, controller right button from next, controller square button, use harpoon. Row, controller square button, sit in seat. Pineapple, quantity 2, state, blocked. Option 5 of 10, controller up button for previous option, controller down button, controller square button, sit in seat. Controller triangle button, open rowboat, controller square button, sit in seat. Controller triangle button, open rowboat chest. Right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Sailor fishing rod option 5 of 8. Sunny Splashtail. Disabled, pick up Sunny Splashtail, full. Controller square button, controller square button, right stick to select an item. Right stick to select an item. Controller, right stick to select an item. Controller, right stick to select an item. Controller square button, sit in rowboat. Controller square button, sit in rowboat. Controller square button, sit in row. Controller square button, use harpoon. Controller triangle controller square button, use harpoon. Controller square button, sit in rowboat. Controller triangle button, detach. Controller square button, use map table. Controller triangle button, controller square button, use lantern. Controller square wood required to cannonball. Right stick to sailor bucket option 7 controller square chat radio right sailor bucket option 7 of 8.
If you want to be properly rewarded, sail to any outpost or port and seek the green canvas of a gold hoarder's
Controller square button, use hat. Controller square button, use ammo chest.
And as always, keep a sharp lookout for pirates as you bring your haul to the outpost safely.
Controller square button, use lantern. Controller triangle button, detach rowboat. Controller triangle button, controller square button, wooden plank, quantity 50, state, blocked. Controller L1 button for previous tab, controller circle button for back. Controller square button, use map table. Controller wooden plank, quantity 4, wood barrel. In cannon, wooden plank, cannonball, quantity 5, right stick to select an item. Controller down button for sailor bucket option, controller square button, open wood barrel. Controller triangle button, controller square button, use map table. Controller triangle button, open row. Controller square button, use lantern. Controller square button, sit. Pineapple, wooden plank, fire, cannonball. Controller triangle button, open rowboat chest. Controller square button, controller triangle button, unload cat. Controller square button, controller triangle button, load. Controller triangle button, unload. Controller square button, ring bell. Controller square button, cannonball, quantity 8. Cannonball, quantity 8. Controller square cannonball, fire scat coconut, quantity 1, state, full. You cannot. Controller square button, climb ladder. Controller square button, sit in seat. Row. Controller square button, sit in seat. Controller, pineapple, controller triangle button, open rowboat. Cannonball, controller triangle button, open rowboat chest. Controller square button, inventory. Tab, cannon, coconut, quantity 1, state, full. You cannot carry any more of this item. Option 1 of wood controller square wooden coconut, quantity 1, state, food. Controller square leeches, food barrel. Coconut pump, banana leech, no options. Control, disabled, food required to cook. Rowboat chest. Pineapple, cannonball, controller square button, sit in seat. Controller square cannonball barrel, chain shot, cannonball, fire, pineapple, quantity 2, state, full. You cannot carry any more of this item. Option 1 of food barrel, pomegranate, pineapple, mango, coconut, wooden plank, quantity, controller, inventory, no options. Controller R1 button for next tab, controller circle button for back. Controller square button, sit in row, controller square button, sit in seat. Banana, wooden plank, quantity, coconut, quantity 3, state, blocked. Controller square button, use map table. Controller truck, wood barrel. In wooden plant. Banana. Quantity 5. Controller. Pomegranate. Inventory. No options. Controller R1 button for next tab. Controller circle button for back. Controller square button. Sit in. Coconut. Quantity. Rowboat chest. Cannon. Banana. Cannonball. Quantity 15. Controller triangle button. Detach rowboat. Controller square button. In cannonball. Coconut. Quantity 3. State full. You cannot carry any more of this item. Option. Food. Controllers. Coconut. No options. Disabled. Tankard required to refill grog. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller triangle button. Open rowboat chest. Controller triangle button. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller square button. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller square button. Ring bell. Controller triangle button. Controller square button. Controller square button. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller square button. Raise anchor. Controller square button. Set sail length. Controller square button. Set sail length. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Lower anchor. Controller square button. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Controller square button. Set sail length. Controller square button. Set sail length. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Raise anchor. Controller square button. Use wheel. Controller square button. Controller square button. Use harpoon. Controller square button. Use cannon. Controller triangle button. Unload cannonball. Controller square button. Open wood barrel. Controller square button. Use lantern. Controller square button. Use map table. Controller square button. Sit in row. Controller square button. Sit in seat. Controller square button. Sit in rowboat. Controller square button. Use harpoon. Controller triangle button. Controller square button. Pick up safe. Controller triangle button. Dock rowboat. Controller triangle button. Open rowboat chest. Wood required to repair. Controller triangle button. Open rowboat chest. Wood required to repair. Wood required to repair. Controller square button. Disabled. Push rowboat. Controller square button. Sit in seat. Controller square button. Controller square button. Sit in rowboat.
Here we go! Well done, pirate! Over here! You made it! Not all journeys end in gold and glory. Luckily for you, this one assuredly does.
Controller square.
You'll find the gold hoarders in surroundings such as these at any outpost or port. Hand them that chest you found, and they'll pay you well. Bringing treasure to these gold-hungry traders will also increase your reputation with the company, and will earn promotion through their ranks. Do this, and you'll earn more rewarding voyages, grander treasures, as well as the chance to buy gold hoarder clothing and equipment. As soon as you're ready, return to your ship to embark on your next voyage.
Controller square.
With that, your first quest upon the Sea of Thieves is complete. Out across the waves, a world of adventure, mystery, and wonder now awaits you. Each of the trading companies represents an opportunity to pursue your own pirate story. As your reputation grows, promotion will beckon, alongside greater wealth, and the chance to gain clothing and equipment befitting your status. Like all opportunities on these waters, it's up to you to make your own path and decide what experiences you want each time you set sail. Feel free to explore and meet the other folk that call this place home. Return to your ship when you're ready to start your next adventure.
Game options. Recent players. Option Game options. Recent players. Option